Chapter 854. She had already known that when she was saving her father, but that seemed to not have much to do with Everest foreign trade, and she did not understand why the president was saying this. Rogan saw the look on Hannah's face and smiled. Ah, he didn't tell you either. Tell me what? Hannah asked, confused. Rogan leaned into her ear. Mr. Trevor Penn is Wilbur. Make sure you don't let him get away. Hannah froze, staring at him in disbelief. You didn't hear this from me, all right? Mr. Trevor Penn might get angry at me. Rogan smiled. Hannah could hardly believe her ears. How could Wilbur be Trevor Penn? Both men weren't even from the same world. Just then, an usher stepped forward to lead Hannah away. Hannah left the banquet hall in a daze, her eyes soulless as if she was a zombie. Rogan looked at Osborne. Do you think we should have told her? I think it was necessary. If he's going to be associated with us, we should reveal his identity to the public to offload some of the stress, said Osborne. Rogan sighed. Let's go. I just hope he won't be too mad. Hannah left the president's office, returning to her own in a daze. She sat in silence for a long while, before jumping abruptly in shock. Everything had only happened after Wilbur came to Freaka. In fact, Wilbur had even said to Hannah the day before that he might be Trevor Penn. Hannah had not even spared him a second thought then. Wilbur being Trevor Penn. What a joke. With how powerful Trevor was, it would probably be so easy for him to change his appearance. Hannah closed her eyes at the thought. What a fool she had been. Her knight in shining armor, the one who had plagued her thoughts and focus for days, had been right in front of her, but she had been completely oblivious. She had even humiliated him multiple times too. How was she going to face him? Hannah spent the rest of the afternoon in a mix of shock, terror, and regret. She wanted to call Wilbur and go to see him in person, apologize to him, gain his forgiveness, and maybe even confess her feelings. Yet she could not muster the courage. It was only later in the evening, after hours of mental torment, that she decided to face the music. She would face whatever the consequences were, be it humiliation, a scolding, or even hurling insults at her. Hannah could not let his chance pass, or she would regret it for the rest of her life. She got to her feet, driving over to the hotel Wilbur was staying in. Her heart pounded wildly as she stood before the door as if it was going to beat out of her chest. Hannah took a deep breath, trying her best to calm down. At last, she knocked softly on the door. The door opened by a crack from the impact. Hannah blinked. It was unlocked. Mr. Penn, Hannah called out in a trembling voice, but to no response. She closed her eyes, taking another deep breath before pushing the door open. The sprawling living room was empty, with not a single person in sight. Where was he? Hannah walked around the living room uneasily before her gaze fell on the letter on the table. She sat down on the sofa, picking it up. Upon reading it, tears began to flow down Hannah's cheeks.